It's Wednesday, March 10th, and the time for your Barbados Today morning news update. The Barbados Secondary Teachers Union expresses concern about face-to-face CXC exams scheduled for June and July. BSTU President Mary Redman is of the view that CXC is forcing students and teachers who are already struggling to cope with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic to complete the examination syllabus by the middle of the year. Recently, the Caribbean Examination Council gave the green light for the exams, but Redmond said the union believed students nor teachers should be made to suffer in an attempt to try and have students achieve the impossible of completing the CXC syllabi by June. She pointed out in a statement that CXC admitted that this is an unprecedented crisis with disastrous effects in the region, yet it had decided to go ahead with an exam timetable delayed by only 1 month. Redman also pointed out that there has been no reduction in the syllabus content to be taught to students to properly prepare them for those exams. Just over half the number of small businesses that applied for government assistance last month have received their benefit payments, but that's only for the first 2 weeks. Minister of Energy, Small Business and Entrepreneurship, Kerry Simmons, made the disclosure in Parliament on Tuesday as he sought and received approval for supplementary estimates for 2020-2021 for his ministry in the sum of $6,875,756. The bulk of the amount is to go towards financial assistance for micro businesses for February's lockdown. Simmons revealed that just over 6,100 businesses applied for assistance during the period.
For the period beginning 3rd of February and continuing to the 17th of February, ma'am, which is the first 2 weeks of the period of national pause, we would have received 6,122 applications. As of the 8th of March, and today is the 9th, so that was as of yesterday, 3,407 persons were paid, and as of yesterday, 86 persons were awaiting disbursement pending the completion of the verification process. So that would give you, assuming that all went well with those 86, 3,493 people who would have been benefited from this financial assistance program of the government. The total amount disbursed thus far, ma'am, is $2,080,000. That is for the first 2 weeks of the period of national pause. Obviously, the disbursement process continues. There are some entities that would only have been closed during the first period. Then there are those that were allowed to reopen and others had to remain closed during the extension and continuing until now.
Simmons said businesses that remain closed after the February lockdown will continue to receive financial assistance. He gave a breakdown of the amounts paid out so far.
Beauty services received or made 832 verified applications. And by beauty services, I'm referring to hairstylists, nail technicians, barbers, as I alluded to before. And in that category, we have paid $416,000, ma'am. People involved in the food services sector, for example, operators of canteens, operators of delis, they would have made 462 applications for that first 2 week period. And in that regard, we paid $231,000. Taxi operators, we received 280 applications for taxi operators for the first 2 week period. And in that regard, we have paid $140,000. Shops, we received 289 applications, which have been verified with regard to shops for that first 2 week period. And again, ma'am, they would have received $433,500. Bear in mind that with regard to the shops, they were entitled to be paid at a rate of $500 a week, as opposed to the $250 that were for every other category. And with regard to vendors, ma'am, we received 964 confirmed applications, verified applications from the vending community, and they would have benefited thus far for the 2 week period for $482,500.
Any costs associated with establishing an anti-corruption and anti-terrorism agency in Barbados will be merited. That's the view of Labour Minister Colleen Jordan, who believes that the country has much to gain if the agency is able to effectively weed out corruption. He made the comments during debate on the Anti-Corruption and Anti-Terrorism Agency Bill 2020 in Parliament yesterday.
In my opinion, Mr. Speaker, while I recognize that there is a cost to setting up the structure, I also recognize that the endemic nature of corruption and its impact, its negative impact on a country and on that country's development is so large that it merits the cost of putting systems in place to address the matter.
Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Sandra Husbands, also acknowledged that such an agency would be helpful to Barbados.
If we have a proper monitoring mechanism to deal with corruption wherever it is, it means that there will be better management of the resources of our people. Because wherever corruption has been allowed to run unchecked, economic development suffers. And studies have been done to make the correlation between the presence of corruption, its degree, the degree of hold it has on the systems of a country, and the well-being of citizens. Because those resources are better managed, they're better channeled into the things that are of great importance to the people. So whether it is roads, whether it's health care, whether it's the school system, regardless of what those services are, when you're able to keep corruption under control. I know the whole idea is to stamp it out, but I don't know if you can ever stamp out all. Because every time you block a hole, somebody may find another one to open up to get through. So the idea is to have a unit that is flexible and can move quickly to look and see where those new areas are and ensure that they're blocked. So citizens enjoy a better quality of life when we're able to deal with the issues of corruption.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
The news from the region: the highly contagious UK variant of COVID-19 has been detected in Jamaica. According to Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, positive COVID-19 samples were taken from 8 people living in 6 different parishes who had no travel history and sent to the Trinidad and Tobago-based Caribbean Public Health Agency for testing. 7 of them were found to be of the UK strain.
The positive samples came from the parishes of St. Catherine, St. James, Clarendon, Kingston and St. Andrew, and Trelawney. What this confirms to us in public health is that the UK variant strain is present in our population as manifested in the sequencing or the testing that has been done at CARFA in Trinidad. And I think it's important for us to recognize that, look at the features of this variant strain, which I know the CMO can comment more on, and could attribute, possibly, with more work to be done, more testing to be done, that this may have contributed also to the rate of spread in the population. Our analysis has shown that given the widespread disregard for the protocols, the non-wearing of masks, the crowded situations, the illegal parties and social gatherings across the island, and also the increasing indication of symptomatic positive cases, all of this combined could be contributing to the rate of spread of the virus in the population.
And finally, a new report by the World Health Organization and its partners show that violence against women remains devastatingly pervasive and starts alarmingly young. Across their lifetime, 1 in 3 women, that's around 736 million, are subjected to physical or sexual violence, a number that has remained largely unchanged over the past decade. Here's the World Health Organization chief, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus.
The report includes data from 158 countries on intimate partner violence and sexual violence by a non-partner for women and girls aged 15 years and older. The results paint a horrifying picture. An estimated 736 million women, almost 1 in 3 women globally, have suffered intimate partner violence, sexual violence from a non-partner or both at least once in their lives. And almost 1 in 4 adolescent girls in a partnership have experienced physical and or sexual violence from a partner or husband before their 19th birthday.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.